We do have an update for you, some breaking news that we've been following today. Sources tell ABC News the FBI and Department of Homeland Security are investigating the cause of a massive nationwide cell phone outage. Officials are working to determine if the service disruption is the result of a cyber attack, a hack, or simply a technical malfunction. AT&T customers are slowly now coming back online after thousands of those cell phones went down earlier this morning. The cellular outage affected phones all across the country, with thousands of users reporting issues in cities including New York, Houston, Chicago, and San Francisco. AT&T tells ABC News, quote, "Some of our customers are experiencing wireless service interruptions this morning. Our network teams took immediate action, and so far, 3/4 of our network has been restored. We're working as quickly as possible to restore service to remaining customers." Verizon and T-Mobile said they are not experiencing any service disruptions.
Welcome to the Truckers Lounge. I'm DePriest.
I am Eugene.
Yeah, okay, so now I see why my phone wasn't working this morning.
Yeah.
I was one of the victims this morning too. I'm hooked up with AT&T, and both my phones were saying SOS, but I hadn't even did the update yet. And on one of my phones, when I did the update, then the SOS went off one of them, but the other one, it took up to like this afternoon, probably around about 2 Central, before the SOS came off and I was able to make calls and receive calls on it. So yeah, I
Wow.
was completely out of sync. I had to call you on Messenger this morning
Yeah.
because my Wi-Fi was working.
Yeah. I was wondering what was going on while you called. Why is he calling me on the on the
No,
messenger like that? Yeah.
yeah, I didn't know what was up with that, but apparently, they was talking about it last night on Facebook. I missed it.
Mm,
I earlier I had saw some posts not too long ago, and I said, man, they was already talking about it. And this girl, she posted this here. Let me adjust the screen here. But this
okay.
girl, she had posted this right here, screenshot. So people are already having issues with their phones, saying SOS last night. I didn't
Wow.
catch it because I wasn't talking to nobody after a certain time. I was just watching like TikTok, Facebook, you know.
Which is on your Wi-Fi, hooked up to your Wi-Fi,
Yeah,
right? Right.
right. Because with that AT&T phone, I had been kind of having on and off issues with my 5G that when I left the house, like like I like to watch YouTube when I'm well, I don't like to watch YouTube. I like to listen to YouTube when I'm driving. And sometimes my YouTube would be saying offline. I
Mm,
can't get access to the Google or whatever. And sometimes I may have to cut my Wi-Fi off and cut it back on. This is while I'm out. And every time
yeah.
I call AT&T, they like, well, they want to do all that troubleshooting stuff
Yeah.
that you.
Updatings and all that stuff.
Yeah, well, they want to do troubleshooting first. You know what I'm saying? They want to know if you got a VPN, do you got this on, do you have that enabled, and all that. And after having so many issues, you most likely done already did the troubleshooting already before you call. And I'm the type, I want answers when I call. I don't want to go through all the troubleshooting that I've already done before I even called you. So
Right. Right.
yeah. So I didn't catch it, this morning because, like I said, I'm just used to using Wi-Fi. But go ahead, I ain't mean to interrupt.
No, I was going to say I remember reading earlier when I was watching some of the stuff or the people talking about their phones, saying the SOS. They said it hit a lot of the healthcare industry also. A lot of
Right.
pharmacies and all that stuff.
One
They
of the big ones
experienced
got
those.
hit called Change Healthcare, isn't it?
Yeah, that's through United. Through
Yeah,
United
that's what
Healthcare
I
owns
thought.
them. I guess yeah, it's one of their companies. That's I don't know if it's a sister company or they own them rather, but yeah, it's through United Healthcare, and they got hit along with a lot of pharmacies across the country. And one of the articles that I read about it, they were saying that they started seeing an uptick in cyber attacks during COVID, mainly
Hmm.
because since everything was closed, they started doing those virtual meetings, seeing your doctor virtually and having a
Right.
virtual checkup. And it said that system, the healthcare network, wasn't designed to go virtual overnight like that. And so
Uh,
it opened them up to those type of cyber attacks, you know. So but they said they got it pretty much got it underway as soon as they started seeing that they were having issues with those cyber attacks. They went on ahead and got on top of it.
yeah, yeah. I was reading on it. They said it was having a delay in filling people prescription, and
Hmm.
they had to disconnect from the system to avoid any further attack.
Right.
Yeah,
And so that affected a lot of people across the country.
right, right. Yeah, cause it was a country over there in Africa. They got hit too. One of those leaders over there was talking about it. I didn't completely read the article, so it was a worldwide, well, global cyber attack, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, because we were looking at a map earlier of it,
Hmm.
you know, showing the parts that it had hit. And
If we
I
read
know I
somewhere, they said it was coming from China, right? That China was behind it.
Yeah, I think that was Mark Rubio. Mark Rubio was saying that
Right.
China, um basically the cyber attacks from China would be worse. So he didn't necessarily. I don't think he was really saying that it was China, but he's saying it
Right.
was China was behind something like that. It would be a lot worse, and basically saying we need to get prepared for stuff like that.
Right. Well, I feel like this here. Uh, I'm an American and I'm for the American way. That's why I suggest AT&T should be knocking off some percentages on this cell phone bill. You know, I missed out on some of my time today. I need my
Yeah.
Hey, they got more money than I do. I have nothing to be giving away free. I'm gonna call them tomorrow, and you know
When
what
was you?
I'm saying. I urge everybody, you know, to call your cell phone company if you was affected by this, and ask for some kind of incentives.
Yeah,
Damn.
nah.
We paying them for this.
When was your first phone? Your first phone? When did it get back online?
My first phone got back online this morning when I had did the software update on both my phones.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my first line it came back up this morning while we was talking on Messenger.
Oh,
And
okay.
right, but the second one it was right about two something today, central before it came back up. And it
So
was
I
kind of
know.
on back and forth. SOS, and then it'll show my bars. It would never show the 5G or 4G or nothing like that, or the LTE side. It would never show neither one of those.
So I know that Cricket is owned by AT&T. So I saw that they were affected also.
Yeah, we saw a TikTok video of a guy that was talking about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I don't
Cause
know. I
see,
don't know.
before that, you know, I was seeing videos of people saying we was under a cyber attack, but you know, we done been under a cyber attack before, so it didn't really like raise any alarm to me in that sense because you know we all know what happened during the shoot really both of Trump elections is when you know recent time I can remember where we had all these cyber attack infiltration in our communication system and
Yeah.
so forth. So it didn't really raise any alarms in that way because you know they was using it at that time for propaganda, which they also can use cyber attacks to break into your accounts. And you know, you see what they did to the medical industry. They shut down people getting their medication. You know,
Mm. Yeah. That's
yeah.
Yeah. So I know that with a lot of those cyber attacks, I think what was I saying that at? They were saying that President Biden had tried to beef up the cyber attack security for the ports, you
Hmm.
know, to keep that down at the ports. I don't know what ports may have been affected as a result of this. I don't know if it really has affected the security of the country, but I know they were saying they was beefing up cyber security at the ports as a result of this.
Yeah, probably lip service because we wouldn't know if they beefing it up or not. You know, we wouldn't know anything. The only thing we could do is take them as they word. And as for me, I take what politicians say with a grain of salt. You
Yeah.
know, Because you can easily get out there and say you beefing up cyber security, and the tech teams around the world is just doing what they normally do to fight against cybersecurity. Probably
Hmm.
really nothing extra they put in. And he a statement he probably came out with to keep people from panicking. I mean, we
Probably did.
already done showed the world that when something drastic happened, like a global situation, like a pandemic, we'll buy the hell out of some paper towel. So we already done
and some
showed the
and some
world we'll do.
sanitizer.
Right. So we already showed the world we'll do some of the oddest things. So that's probably that was probably lip service what he was talking about. They
Ain't no
they ain't, they
telling.
ain't beefed up nothing. They done burnt up so much money. Shoot, you know what I'm saying? You need to beef up some of these bridges.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what you need to beef
Our
up.
own infrastructure.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, some beef up I-40 and going across Arkansas.
I know that's right. Yeah, that's what you need to beef up. So,
uh,
but yeah,
Definitely.
so that was the deal with the phones and everything. I was kind of, man, my feelings was kind of hurt by that. I mean, I honestly felt lost today behind it. I mean, it just goes to show you how much tech has spoiled us. I mean, how many of us can say that if that happened on a large scale, that we had a communication blackout?
Hmm.
How long would it take for you to snap out of it and get back to functioning and going with plan B or C or D? Or do you even have a plan B or C
Yeah.
or D? I don't think we think about that enough.
No, we don't.
Yeah,
No.
so
Hey,
that's
now one thing I have been trying to learn how to do,
what's that.
relearn how to do,
But
and is memorizing phone numbers.
yeah,
You
people
know,
don't do
cause
that now.
yeah,
People
cause
really don't do that now.
cause back in the day, you had to know people's numbers by heart.
Right,
You had it written down in that on a sheet of paper or a phone book. But for the most part, you already knew your area code, which you didn't have to put in an area code on a house phone. Didn't have to put in an area code. You just put
right,
in your those first three numbers and the last four. And
right.
generally, everybody
Exactly.
who lived in your area had the first three numbers the same.
Yep,
You just had to remember they last four numbers, and that's really it. But
that
hey,
was it.
most people that was in your circle, your mom, your grandparents or whatever,
Right.
your friends and family, you pretty much knew all they numbers. You knew at least 5 to 10 numbers off the top of the dome.
Right, and as for me, that's what make you supposed to worry about your children, because it's really most of their generation. They remember names and contacts, and if they can't
Yeah.
remember the names, they can remember the first two letters and go to the search and find the contact that they're looking for if it's somebody they don't talk to on a regular basis. But what if they have a breakdown on the back road where they got no service, no nothing? Now you got to go up to
Yeah.
somebody's house, not knowing what kind of interaction it's going to be because it's a stranger that you
Hmm.
go on to ask for help. It was a girl, what was that, Michigan? She walked up to this gentleman's house and he shot her and killed her. She had
Wow.
broke down. You remember that?
I don't remember
A few
that one.
year ago? You don't remember that a few
Mm-mm.
years ago
Nah,
with all
I
the
don't.
stuff with when Eric Gardner was getting killed, and that former college football player out there in South Carolina that had an accident, and somebody pulled up on the scene and shot him. They said he was acting belligerent and, and
Mm.
and all that kind of stuff. So the kids, the younger generation, like around my oldest son age, that 17-year-old up to your late 20s, y'all
Hmm.
need to get in the habit of at least remembering your help phone number.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
that's very important. Cause I
Now
was
I'm
lost this morning.
right now. I made a habit when my children were small. That I made sure they memorized my full phone number. So I've had the same numbers about 15 years. And
Right.
so I made sure that they kept that. So till this day, they know my whole number by heart because I made sure that if anything happened, they could call me from wherever and they knew my
Right.
whole number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up because that's another thing too, to everybody in the audience. Just
Mm-hmm.
because you switch phone carriers don't mean you have to give up your phone number. If you got people
Right.
used to your phone number, transfer your number over to a different carrier. I used to see a lot of young people, they would change phones, and I'm guilty of it too.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of shamed into keeping my number, not knowing I was really doing something that I shouldn't be doing. But people don't think about that when they switch carriers, new phone, new number. Get your number
Mm-hmm.
transferred and keep your numbers so that especially in the age of spam callers.
Right.
People like me don't answer their phones when they see spam risk or unrecognizable wireless phone number calling you or whatever. Uh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, if you keep your same number, like anything could be happening. You could be running for your life and you just need that phone call for somebody to meet you at a spot or come aid and assist. And you calling from a different number, they don't know the number and they don't even pick up because they thinking
Right.
it's a robo caller, a spam caller, somebody trying to sell insurance or something.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah,
So.
and you know what I'm saying, that's another thing. How the hell you gonna beef up the cybersecurity when we can't even stop these spam callers?
Yeah.
That's a cyber breach right there, in my opinion.
Yeah, they calling asking and shucks, they be calling asking about health insurance, trying to get you signed up for health insurance, trying to get you signed up for your Medicare, Medicaid,
Yep.
asking if you uh are you current on your what's it, your car warranty? We want to talk to you about getting the car warranty.
Right.
So
Yeah. But anyway, man, but yeah, but everybody just keep that in mind. But moving forward, just start trying to memorize your people number, finding different means of contacting. If you see that you got
yeah.
Wi-Fi, like I noticed today, I had Wi-Fi. Call your people, let them know if they hooked up to Messenger or whatever. Wi-Fi calling app that you can use and let them know, hey, look, I'm good. This how you can contact me to this right here,
Mm-hmm.
or something, but we're gonna go on to the next topic. We got some sad news. Wendy Williams, uh, she's not doing too well right now,
Mm.
and I want to play two clips. I want to play a clip from a highlight. Part of a clip from the trailer of her documentary coming out, um, and a news clip to kind of give you all some context on where we're going with this conversation. So, but it's some real sad news here. So we're gonna go ahead and
Yeah.
start off with this
All right.
clip here.
Yeah, go ahead.
I recently been changing my life since, we last spoke. You've always been honest with me and put me in my place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In the most motherly, kind way. That's why I love you so much. Because even when I was going through my darkest times, you never used that against me. You know what I mean? And that's how you know that the love is genuine and it's always
Yeah.
gonna be there. And I'm always be here for you, straight up. You could call my phone whenever. I'm so serious. And I think I'm gonna be back and forth from New York, so I'm gonna be coming to see you more.
Well, my real name is Wendy Hunter.
Hunter.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm divorced.
Yes.
He's got no money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love you.
So do I.
Former talk show host Wendy Williams' team releasing an update on her health. They say she's been diagnosed with primary progressive aphasia and frontotemporal dementia. The 59-year-old hosted the Wendy Williams Show for more than a decade and has been open in the past about her health struggles, which included Graves' disease and a thyroid condition. Her team says the medical diagnosis was made sometime last year. Medical experts say primary progressive aphasia is caused by the deterioration of brain tissue important for speech and language. It also is the same disease that Bruce Willis is battling.
Now, look, I know that she made a lot of enemies uh, and everything. But you gotta admit that's heartbreaking.
It is.
That's heartbreaking because she's still a human being.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's not like she killed anybody. She just ran a mouth a lot. But that's heartbreaking.
Yeah, to see that, see anybody who um goes to that extent, they kind of start losing their memory and everything. 'Cause I have family members who've gone through that, who's battled with dementia or Alzheimer's and stuff like that, and it's heartbreaking to see. Um, Sometimes they remember who you are, and other times they don't.
Yep.
And so, and to see her, basically, she'd be full of life, and to kind of see her kind of in a vulnerable state right now, just that is heartbreaking.
Right, right. And then and from my understanding, she's pretty much broke. You
Mm.
know, um, the documentary. I was listening to a YouTube video this morning about it, and they were going to scrap the documentary because that's when they started noticing that she wasn't right. The
Mm.
production crew, when they was on
Yeah.
set to do the documentary, then they figured just go ahead and shoot it because I guess they felt like the world needed to see what she was going through. But they said nobody knew when they was getting scheduled to do that documentary. They said the documentary was supposed to be something else, like basically her comeback, you
Okay.
know, to the industry. But
Mm.
now, they see that she's most likely not coming back. So
And that's pretty much
yeah,
why she had kind of left her show kind of early because of the different sicknesses that she was dealing with.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, the up and downs. Yeah, it's a
Hmm.
sad situation. But what they call it? Aphasia. What did the lady call it?
Out.
It's a
Uh,
yeah,
I forgot that, but I know they were saying she was dealing with Graves' disease,
right. Yeah, it's let me see
and I forgot the other
here.
part she was dealing with.
Yeah, it's a frontotemporal dementia. If I'm
Okay.
saying that wrong, I apologize. But yeah, that's what it is. It said the news was shared in a press release on Thursday to correct inaccurate and hurtful rumors about her health. They got that in quotation.
Hmm.
A care team for Williams wrote in a statement. Yeah, so they said, as Wendy's fans are aware, in the past she has been open with the public about her medical struggles with Graves' disease and man, I can't pronounce a lot of these medical words. I don't want to say the wrong thing and then end up putting some on this lady that's not there. But
Yeah.
anyway, as well as other significant challenges related to her health, the press release states over the past few years, questions have been raised at times about Wendy's ability to process information, and many have speculated about Wendy's condition, particularly when she began to lose words, act erratically at times, and have difficulties understanding financial transactions. Um, wow. Um, that's what me and you had discussed before. That's why I was telling you about some of the people that we lost. These issues appear over time.
Hmm.
When you messing with your brain and all that, it's signs that's there that appear over time. Like when you have these memory blocks or
Yeah.
these, being forgetful or stuff when your mind used to be stronger than that.
Hmm.
That to me now, I don't know if that's a medical fact, but to me, that could be signs of dementia,
Yeah.
Alzheimer's. That could be setting in. If you ask me, I think a lot of that stuff is caused by not only abuse of drugs, but just stress on your brain. You
Hmm.
know, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you think about it. If you compare your brain to a computer, what happens when you put too many files in your computer? Computer starts to buffering, starts to slowing down. So if the brain operates like a computer, just let that sink in. Just think
Hmm.
about that.
Yeah, and I think that um, oftentimes people that are real close to you don't always pick up what's going on. or
Right.
they don't necessarily know the right course of action to take. If they
Right.
do start recognize, okay, something ain't right. Because if it's something that's not happening all the time, if it's just something that happens here and there, everybody may not be able to pick up on it and know how to uh, direct it in the right path to get
Right.
help. Yeah, so
Right. Yeah, cause I think all that stuff like Alzheimer's, dementia, and stuff like, doesn't that also affect your nerve system too?
yeah, I think it does have something to do with your nervous system and other organs.
Uh-huh.
Cause I know a lot of people who've had Alzheimer's, they begin to really deteriorate over time.
Yeah.
So I forgot the exact organs that it affects. At first, I just thought it was something dealing with memory loss until I've heard of people saying, "Oh yeah, they died from Alzheimer's or they died from this." So I didn't know you can actually die from it. I just thought it was just dealing with memory loss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you see something on it?
Well, yeah, no, I didn't really catch nothing, on the nerve. Cause see what I was gonna mention, like my older brother, he had a stroke, and one of the things that I admire about him, he really got in tune with studying the nervous system, studying the brain, and what causes these things to happen. And the reason why I was saying that dementia, it's possible that it could be related to a nerve. I mean, that's not a medical fact. I'm not a doctor or anything, I I just lost a lot of family members due to a lot of different issues, and it does come back to that. But he compared the nervous system to a fuse box. He said the way that the doctors educated him and the people where he was doing rehabilitating him, and he was like, it's just like your nervous system is just like a bunch of fuses. If you remove a fuse, it could shut off certain things like your speech, your memory, your ability to go use the restroom. It,
Wow.
just certain parts in your nerves. Because he said it's billions on top of billions of nerves running through your body, and all of them have a role to play on how we operate on a daily basis. Breathing on our own is
Yeah.
part of the nerve system. Something that we take for granted. We do naturally. If you like me, you don't really appreciate the fact that you're able to breathe until you get congested and you
Yeah.
can't sleep at night and you stopped up. Then it becomes irritating. Imagine if that was your life.
That'd be sad. I'm reading this right
Yeah.
here, and it says primarily as the disease of dementia progresses, it starts to harm other bodily systems as well. As the brain deteriorates, it has
Yeah.
more difficulty controlling parts of the body.
Yeah. If it's
You
dealing with
know,
the brain, it's dealing with the nervous system as well.
so
Because that's
yeah,
where all our nerves hooked up start, what I'm saying, the root start, It's sad.
and that is sad.
Yeah.
So I think
I
that's one of
just
the things you
hope.
just have to,
Mhm.
uh, man. I think with everything, with every disease or every cancer, if you talk to healthcare professionals, everything can be, I ain't gonna say prevented, because everybody who tries to be health conscious is trying to do what they can to prevent certain things.
Right.
Especially if you understand what your sicknesses that your family have dealt with in the past. If you got heart disease that runs in the family or whatever diseases that run in the family, then you try to be conscious to be to do what you can to prevent those things from happening to you. But when it comes to things of the mind, the healthcare professional will basically say everything really can be, uh, I guess, lessened if you have early prevention. So going doing your checkups and doing those other tests outside of just your regular annual checkup. Asking for certain tests. But if you got a good doctor, healthcare professional, they're gonna recommend, hey, at 40, this is what you should be testing for. At
Right.
at 50, this is what you should be testing for. Let's do this type of scan. Let's do this type of test. And if they aren't doing those things, hopefully you're studying and you're asking for those things for yourself.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
In school we all learned about health and wellness. What's that economics? What they call it? It's not
Oh, health. I
economics.
read on health in school.
Huh?
We took health. You had
Right. But they
PE, and
call
then
it
you had
something
health.
else with an E though. Health, the health class.
I just
They
remember
call it
it
something
being
else.
called health in my school.
Yeah, it was called something with an E. But anyway, you learn about health and wellness. I think if I'm not mistaken, they got a whole chapter to just say health and wellness or a book to say health and wellness. I didn't understand what health and wellness like really truly meant until I got older. And health and wellness means everything about your being you need to protect. Not only do you need to eat right and exercise, you need to protect your mental health, your emotional health. You need to all
Mm,
that play a role in your deterioration. When you
yeah,
start messing with your emotional and your mental, now you deteriorating, things going on with your cells, your nerve system, your brain, That's why it's important to keep toxic people out your life.
mm,
I don't care how much you love them. You need to learn to love them from a distance and let whatever it is be.
yeah,
The most important thing that I learned throughout my life was the serenity prayer. And, part of that prayer says, to ask God to help you to accept things that you cannot change.
that's
You
a good
know,
one.
right. When a person like me, I have to be in full control of my zone, my bubble. I have to be full control. And when you're a person like me, that can tend to stress you and add, unnecessary deterioration to your health and wellness. And I'm work in progress on that right now. Just
Yeah,
really just putting myself in a state of not just to say not giving a fuck, but just 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 putting it in the most high hand because the only thing you can do when you care about somebody is tell them. That's all you can do. What however they take it after that,
it's on them.
I mean it's nothing you can do.
Right.
But at least you can do your part and drop the seed and hope it grow before they make
Yeah.
their mistakes. And if they do make their mistakes, which we should allow people to make their mistakes, let's pray and hope that they learn from their mistakes. They gain wisdom from their mistakes.
Yeah, and they go ahead and get on the right path.
Right. Right, because some people journey to the right path is longer than others, and we have to simply understand that, especially when we know we've done everything that we could do. Even when it comes to our children, sometimes we have to let them lead the next. I mean, you can't let that stress you or worry you. How many
Hmm.
mothers, if you think about it, how many moms and grandmas have we seen leave in their 60s and 70s, and you think back to what you or your siblings may have put her through over the years.
Right.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Just
Uh
because
huh.
you were going through your stages. So,
Right.
you know,
You were being you, and they were worried
right,
about you all that time.
right,
Yeah.
right. So yeah, I say it's a sad situation. I wish Wendy and her family well, and I hope bloggers don't come out bashing this woman, man, because of the past that she had. Y'all don't uplift people for worse things than she's done. And now, to be honest with you, what a lot of people hate her for now, that's a thing on the internet now.
Hmm.
Because
Gossip.
people are looking for clicks. Yeah, people are looking for clicks now. You got some people out here doing shit worse than what Wendy Williams was doing, or equally.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so don't
true.
bash that woman, because I'm sure gonna be online like lurking for that. I'm gonna be ready to comment because that's not cool. To try to get likes off somebody else's sickness like that. And this woman is going through it for real.
Now, how long has her, or do you know how long her and Black China been friends or been cool like that?
I don't know the relationship between them. I was trying to find. Let me see.
Because I know she had came on her show one time. I remember seeing that episode when Black China had came on her show, and but sometime after that they had developed a friendship. You know, I don't know what really led up to it, and they had kind of got a little close.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Let me see. See if I can
But
find
yeah.
it.
Yeah, I think that was, let's see, this is 24. That may have been about 4 years ago. She may have came on her show 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah,
She
it
came on.
says the close friendship first grew out of gossip back in 2020.
Oh, okay.
After years of being mentioned on Williams' show, China decided to set the record straight, sitting down with the then host for an interview about her life and headline fueling entanglements with the Kardashians. So
Okay.
they ended up, developing a friendship out of beef.
Oh, okay.
Right. you know, out of the out of what Wendy is known for.
Hmm.
Yeah, so but but like I said, we wish her well. So so we got this Amazon driver who I think you said this video is from 2021 who
Yeah.
he was split in half by his vehicle was
Not.
split in half by a train. Yeah, I was about
Right.
to say he was split in half. That's a picture of the
Wow.
vehicle right there, the van that he was in. It was
That
wow.
boy blessed. He is
Man,
blessed.
he really is blessed, man. I tell you, we got a clip for anybody who hasn't seen the clip. I just seen the clip. Gene said he saw the clip last year, so it looked like it's more coming up on this story. So I'm gonna run the
Yeah.
clip here.
Okay.
Just a moment here. Well, that's a clear view of the
Mm-hmm.
railroad tracks, and you can see the railroad crossing sign in the background.
So he just
So
went over. He just did the
I
crossing sign. See, because from that angle, you can't tell if the crossing sign came down or if the crossing sign was down and he just went through them. You know, I couldn't tell from that. But another clip that I had seen of that video, it said that the driver had said that, well, he's deaf in his left ear. That driver.
oh
So
yeah.
yeah, so he didn't hear the horns, and he said there were no flashing lights or warning signs. So I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't know how he gonna make that happen, man, because you can still I mean, it's just my opinion. I'm not trying to discount anything that went on with that driver, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know what I'm saying? The railroad tracks was clearly there. You could see that in the background. And the
Uh-huh.
railroad signs was clearly there. So I don't know, but it says that the TMZ shows the immediate reaction of a driver. His name was Alexander Evans, by the way. After his vehicle was hit in November 2021, the collision happened when he turned onto the tracks of a railroad crossing. The
Mm-hmm.
impact from the oncoming train cut the vehicle entirely in half. Evans appeared to be startled, but was luckily not injured. According to the reports, he went to the hospital as a safety precaution, but was only sore after the incident. I bet he was.
Yeah,
During an
yeah.
interview with local news station WISN, the father of two described his surroundings after the train slammed into him on his birthday. Photos showed the damage of his vehicle, which was partly crushed with packages still inside. He
Yep.
said it just boomed. He told the outlet in 2021, just air and the pressure. I felt the airbags. I didn't know what to feel, to be honest with you. The
Yeah.
railroad crossing was on River Valley Road, and I'm gonna spell this city name. It's Lxonia. That's a city, a town in Wisconsin. It's about 42 miles from Milwaukee. So,
Huh.
according to the reports, there were no warning sounds or signals near the crossing that would have given Evans a heads up before driving over the tracks. Now, you
Yeah.
said you saw somewhere that he was deaf?
That's what he said. He was deaf on another article that I had read. That he said he's deaf in his left
Okay,
ear.
yeah, I see it. It said Evans was also caught off guard and didn't hear the horn due to being deaf in his left ear. Despite this, he eased far enough over the tracks at the last second, avoiding deadly consequences.
Yeah, but even being, just my opinion, even being deaf in your left ear, you would think that the train horn would still be loud enough to be able to still hear it in your right ear. You know
I
what I'm
didn't
saying?
see, just on the side that we saw, I didn't see anything like it was covering the tracks where he couldn't have stopped and just looked both ways, even if he had to lean up over the steering wheel.
But most people don't stop
But them
at no train.
Amtraks do come quick though.
Uh-huh.
Now you said
And
most people don't what now?
most people don't stop at train tracks. If
Right,
they
but
don't
we ain't
see,
supposed to handicap common sense, dude.
that's true. But I'm just saying that most people don't stop. They just gonna go. They just gonna drive across railroad tracks. If they don't see anything coming, you relying on the safety measures that are in place. You're relying on the crossing arms or the flashing lights and hearing a sign. I'm hearing the siren. Now, a lot of those railroad tracks don't have the the crossing arms, but they may have flashing lights. But and you still should hear the sirens. But a lot of people are putting their trust in those mechanisms working when they're supposed to be working. And I don't know at that particular location if they had any of those things. He said they didn't have those things there. So
Yeah.
that would mean that everybody who crossed those tracks are supposed to look both ways.
Yeah.
You know, that right there would give everybody a reason to start doing that.
I didn't see it anywhere where they said he was suing or anything like that. Uh, let's see. Let's see. He said, I made a look as I was going down the hill to swerve, and I didn't see anything. He was on my left side." Evans explained to WISN. Literally, it was like one long beep horn from the train, and I put my foot on the gas, kind of like trying.
Hmm.
Uh, I don't know how far I'm going to get away from him. Uh, that he said he heard a beat. So but he said he was on deaf in one ear, right?
Hmm. And in that left ear that he got hit on, the side he got hit on.
Yeah, he
So
said he heard one long beat. So I don't know. I don't see anywhere in here where they like indicating, unless I missed it, that he was going to be like pursuing a lawsuit. Uh, I don't know. You know
mm,
what I'm saying? I guess they just deemed he was at fault. I'm assuming.
it
I don't
probably
know that
did.
for a fact. Yeah, yeah.
And at that point, he was probably so thankful that
I was about to say,
it,
damn
it
that lawsuit when you go through something like
yeah,
that. I sure was about to say that.
he was looking at it, man,
Damn
it
that
could have been
lawsuit.
worse. That's probably what he was looking at. It could have been worse. And he just went on ahead and left it alone.
Man, I've been scared 2 times. I've been scared that, not only did I get hit, but but the time it took for the train to go by after it hit them, I've been, what I'm saying, probably like just wondering, like, I hope it ain't gonna derail from hitting me.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You
right.
thinking you home free.
Yeah.
Wow. That was horrific.
Yeah, because usually on accidents like that, well, that one wouldn't cause a whole lot of damage to well, I can't say what kind of damage it would cause to a passenger train. A freight train, it wouldn't cause any damage. But
Yeah.
a passenger train, the passengers that actually on the train, they can do a lawsuit if they chose to,
Yeah.
you know.
But like they would have to sue who at fault, wouldn't they?
They would have to sue who's at fault. And if I guess a court would determine who's at fault in a
Amazon got a
situation
lot.
like that. Yeah.
Jeff
Because
Bezos got a
I
lot
would
of
say
money
this.
now. He-
I'll say this. If that train track had those warning devices and if they could prove that those warning devices weren't working at the time, then the train company would be the railroad company. Well, who owned the
Yeah.
tracks or owned that intersection would be at fault. Not
Yeah.
necessarily Amtrak. Whoever runs that portion of that track will be at fault.
Yeah. He lucky, but like I say, the way the scene looks, it looks like it was open enough where he could have saw. You know what I'm saying? It just
So,
seemed like like you said, seemed like he just went on across the track like a slight pause and skirt on across the Amazon
yeah.
drive. You know how they
Mhm.
roll.
And the way I was looking at that video, he had on a big coat, which kind of prevents you from just really turning and looking to the left. As he was turning, I never really seen him just really look down the tracks. Well, before he got to the tracks, it didn't appear that he just really looked down the track until he started crossing them, and you seen him look to his left, and he seen that train coming.
Hmm.
That's what he went over ahead and tried to get on it, but at that point, it was a little too late.
Well, thank
Mhm.
God he's okay. But people, it's okay to pause at a intersection, at a
Yeah,
railroad track. It's okay to pause.
and
That
look both
that
ways.
I'm telling you. I mean, them few little seconds is not gonna make you or break you. I mean, if you on your way to work and you lose a job behind a few minutes for taking safety precaution, you ain't need that damn job no way.
No,
You know.
no, you weren't. When I became a bus driver, I was doing my training to be a bus driver. That's one of the things that they had taught us was even if you got the green light going through an intersection, look both ways. Somebody could be
Right.
running a green light. I mean, running a red light on their side. So you want to be able to look both ways to at least minimize the chances of an accident.
Right.
And you do the same thing with railroad tracks. Even if there aren't any flashing lights, there aren't any crossing arms, you don't see the signs of a train, just look both ways. You never know.
Right. Right. Because I know everybody got something to do the next day besides dying today.
That's a good one.
You know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, just let that marinate, and hopefully that'll
Hmm.
make everybody take their time. Cause life is so precious. You don't get but one, and if you don't think about yourself, think about the people who love you. So
Right.
take your time and not have your
Absolutely.
people going through the stress of being upset for losing you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so.
So,
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, Gene. Go ahead.
no, I was fixing to, if you were done, I was fixing to bring in this other story.
Yeah, that's why I was
Uh,
about to ask you what we got next.
yeah, this story came across today.
Hold on a second. By the way, please, if you like the content the live stream that we're doing right now, please don't forget to subscribe, like, share with your friends, help support the channel. Uh, we feel like we put out great content and we want to keep it going. So please support us by subscribing, liking, and share.
Do
Sorry,
it
Gene,
right
go
now.
ahead.
Do it right
Yeah,
now.
right now, down at the bottom.
Hey, and hey, make sure you put that thing, yeah, right here. Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Or right here. Click
exactly,
right. We gotta do
exactly,
that.
exactly. Please do support us. We want to be heard.
So yeah, this bill that came across, found out about it today. Is in Illinois, and so it's a transgender bill. And so this bill, it says Illinois will define parents as abusers for denying gender affirming services. And those who may not know what that is, um, gender affirming services is basically allowing your child. Now I got to get what the age limit is or the minimum age on this is, but allowing your child, they would have their own consent to have transgender drugs, surgical procedures like penis or breast removal, and any type of medical services for a transgender. But if you denied them, according to this bill, if you denied them those gender affirming services, then as a parent, they'll label you under this new bill, they'll label you as an abuser, as an abusive parent. And so basically being labeled as an abusive parent in the state of Illinois means that you can lose custody of your children and other things. So this is something. Now a bill is just that. This is just a lawmaker or lawmakers coming up with something that they want to sign into law. It still has to be voted on. And so those people who are in the state of Illinois, um, I would speak out against this, or at least voice your opinions or your concerns on this issue if you don't know anything about it. Because if this bill is passed in Illinois, then what other states around it? It would take precedence. What other states around it will begin to follow suit?
Well, I want to make this clear. I have no phobia whatsoever.
Hmm.
So what I'm about to say is just how I feel. Now I feel that anybody should be able to do what they want to do as an adult. When you start messing with these children, I don't like that because we living in this narrative that I was born to be a girl if you was born a boy. We live in that kind of narrative. Now I live by this creed, if I could call it, the creed that
Okay.
a child is a product of their surrounding.
Hmm.
Now, if you have a child that has parents of the same sex or has a parent that's dating the same sex, it's a high possibility if that child growing up seeing that they're going to think that's normal. Now I know we living in a world now where we say that that's normal. I'm from the world, it's not normal for two people of the same sex to be together. I just feel like it's accepted today because the world is advancing, and I'm okay with that. I'm just not okay with it being such a flamboyant movement. I'm not
Hmm.
okay with that, because even though you may be gay or whatever, you don't have to be all loved up in public like that. I mean, and to me, that's just having respect for the children, because you need to give them an opportunity to find themselves besides mimicking what they see. And I really feel like that's part of the problem on that. So I don't like that bill. When they start messing with these children, you telling parents they're abusers. That's got to be the craziest thing that you can hear. And
That's
see, keep in
crazy.
mind, this is election year. They only, I feel like for the most part, they probably only doing is to placate toward the LGBTQ community for votes. That's all that
Hmm.
is. And and again, like I say, I have no phobia. I have nothing against anybody who's homosexual, bisexual. They identify as binary, non-binary. I don't have anything against that. I'm just a heterosexual male that's entitled to my belief on how I view things. Now, if any of my children, were gay or whatever, yeah, of course I would accept them, because when you look at your children, you're supposed to still see that baby that came out the womb, no matter how old
Uh-huh.
and ugly they get. So,
Right.
of course I'm gonna, what I'm saying, accept them. Will I agree with their lifestyle choices in that sense? Probably, most likely not. But I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
just ridicule them and
Right.
keep
And
beating them
disown
down
them.
for that.
Right.
Right. If they feel like that's who they are and that's who they want to be. Just
Yeah.
understand that if you're going through an experiment, there's no turning back. Be prepared to get counseling if you just out here experimenting, trying to find your way, because people who do that can eventually possibly end up with some kind of trauma
Mm-hmm.
behind their experimenting, because they're trying what they see in other people do. You
And
know,
that's the thing about that transgender stuff is, no, why not allow to wait until the children are grown and let them
right,
make that decision then. Don't
right,
start giving your child um what hormones at
hmm,
when they're young. You doing hormone or doing sex changes when they're young.
right,
A child changes their mind 100 different times by the time they 18. One minute
right,
when they were small, they wanted to be an astronaut, a
right,
police officer, and then that next thing to change, they may want to be a basketball player. Then later on,
right,
they just want to live life.
right.
So you got to give them that opportunity as they get older, when they're grown, where they can make that decision exclusively on their own.
Right, right, and you know what I'm saying. And also, I feel like, and don't get me wrong, I understand we living in different times, but still, like with these commercials, I don't feel like we have to do that. We shouldn't have to do that. I mean, okay, people are gay, they're non-binary, they're binary, they're homosexual, they're trans, whatever. Okay, that's good. It don't have to be pushed on everybody.
No, I don't agree with that.
Yeah. Well, talking
You
about it
know,
being pushed.
yeah, the way they doing it.
Oh yeah, yeah. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? We don't have to turn on regular TV and see a commercial, two men kissing and being intimate like that. I mean, I think that's wrong. I mean, I don't
Man.
care. Hopefully nobody gets mad at me about my belief. Like I said, I'm not uh 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 ridiculing anyone for their beliefs if that's what they want to be. I mean, that's just not my taste, but I don't think it have to be pushed like that. And I'm willing to debate with anybody on the show about it. If you want to contact us in a description below and link up, and we'll do another show on the topic and just have you on to voice your opinion. We won't edit you, we won't mute you. The only thing that I would ask is that just keep it respectful, and let's have a respectful dialogue, even though we may disagree.
Yeah.
Give each other time to talk. Let's not make it an argument. But it could just be a simple discussion. Come on in the truckers lounge. We in here in the lounge chilling anyway.
Hmm.
So
Man,
when we here, we love to talk.
man, I got this story. I don't know if I ever shared this with you. I ever tell you about my time I spent the weekend in Seattle one year doing Pride Fest, or that Pride Week.
Yeah, I think you did, but I vaguely remember. But share it with the people though.
Yeah, man. So back in 2016, I was running the road and I had a load. I got into Seattle back in like on a Friday evening, and it was my habit. Then I said, okay, whenever I would get into a town that I'm gonna be there for the weekend, I'm gonna make the most of it for the weekend. I'm at a truck stop, so I planned out my weekend. So I learned the bus system for Seattle, that Seattle area, which I was actually in Tacoma I think that's Tacoma at the Love's truck stop there. But anyway,
Right.
I saw that it was a bus stop like a mile away. I walked to the bus stop. When I got to the bus stop, this is a Saturday, the bus stop was filled with people. And I'm like, dang, I ain't never known bus stop to be this many people. They deep down there. So it was a lot
Mhm.
of people, and they got face paint, rainbow face paint. And me, I was just clueless. I didn't know what was going on, but they had
Right.
rainbow
You didn't know what
face.
the symbols meant.
Exactly. I just
Right.
didn't pay attention to it. They had rainbow face paint. I'm thinking it's a festival going on. They just getting their face
Right.
painted. So
Right.
rainbow face paint, rainbow ribbons, and uh wristbands and all that type of stuff. So we got the
Uh-huh.
bus. I got on the bus to go downtown. I just wanted to go downtown and just sightsee. $6 to get on the bus to go downtown.
Right.
Got on the bus. It was standing only. I had to stand up because the bus was filled with people.
Right.
Get downtown, other people getting on the bus, face paint. I'm like, dang, what's going on? You know,
Uh,
I get down there, I hear music going on. I said, dang, they got a festival going on. I said, okay. I said, I can get some good food and everything. I can
right.
walk up that hill, get up that street. They on the they, everybody wearing man, what you call them type of clothes, but everybody was wearing all types of
Drag.
clothes. Drag, that's what I'm
Yeah.
looking for. Man, dude
Right.
with face paint. Uh I seen old dudes, man, walking around with drag faces and jean skirts on with
Right.
with old man tennis shoes, you know, them British Knights.
Right.
The,
Right.
the British, I was like, golly. And so the street was so full. I seen that they had a float and everything. They had a big sign saying, welcome to Pride. I said,
Uh-huh.
Pride. And so I started Googling stuff, and I'm in the middle of a Pride Fest. Because, see, I went downtown. I was going to go to the Seattle Space Needle and
Uh-huh.
go. I wanted to go to the top. But that street was so packed with people celebrating and kissing out in the open and
Yeah.
just I was like, God, I mean, I'm looking, I mean, you literally had to squeeze through people. I'm like, man, they everywhere.
How long were you there before you caught on what was going on?
It didn't take long. Once I got up on that street and I started, it was a guy. He was talking, talking about the firemen, and he was gay, of course, and the way he was
Mm,
talking, very feminine. Then next thing
right.
I know, I seen two women over there just kissing out in the open.
Right. So it was
Then
already going on around you. You just didn't
one
pay
paying
attention till
attention.
you heard that conversation. Then you
hmm
started looking around, your
I
senses
s-
started kicking in.
I started looking and
Yeah.
everything. You had a Christian group down there. They had a sign saying Jesus loves you. This isn't right. I still didn't pay attention. I didn't know what was going
Right.
on. I just thinking they were just street preachers. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Until you had a couple, two women, they walked in front of that sign, they read it, and they just started kissing each other in front of in
So
front of
they
them
had
people.
Christians out there trying to deter them like anti-protest.
Right. Yeah.
Huh.
And
Yeah.
so I was able to get through, and I ended up going on the next street. And it's surprising to me, the route that I was taking was the route of the festival, of the parade
Right.
that was going on. And I was like, man, I can't get away. I can't get away from them.
Well, did you have a good time?
I had a good time,
That
because
now, yeah, go ahead.
I said I had a good time because the things that I was doing, like I said, they didn't bother me. Didn't nobody
Right.
try to hit on me. Didn't nobody
Right.
call, wasn't nobody cat calling. Didn't nobody called me
Right.
out my name. I came
No.
there down
No.
there to do what I'm
None of that,
no,
huh?
no, not at
Yeah, you
all.
know what I'm saying? Because I know one time that was the call. Ooh, ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, in my
So
neighborhood. Yeah.
yeah, so I end up going down there, man, pay my money. They go up to the top of that Space Needle and saw the city. And
Mhm.
I didn't let it deter me. I had a good time,
Yeah,
But
because that's what I wanted to say. Like, now, my experience with gay people, they know how to have a good time.
they
Boy, they
funny.
know how to party. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Just those flamboyant, I'm not going to say flamboyant, the reckless ones who don't have
Yeah.
that level of respect, thinking they could turn somebody out. Them the ones I got a problem with.
hmm
Them the ones I have a real bad problem with, and they cause like anxiety, amongst people who's trying to accept their culture, and they run across somebody of their community that's really a predator.
hmm
Yeah, so that's the problem. But yeah, overall, man, they know how to have a good time. Them
Yeah,
and white
man.
people, they know how to have a good time. I mean, that, far as hanging out and clubbing,
hmm
being amongst white people, and I don't give a damn what my brothers and sisters say about this. You know what I'm saying? You say what you want to say. Being amongst white people and people in the gay community, you have a good time where you're not feeling like you in danger. None of that kind of stuff. I mean, you have a good time around.
And
Yeah.
that's one of the things I can always say is a lot of people aren't open to doing things differently, which is
Right.
why that was one of the things I did because I was by myself and I had a good time around.
Right.
I didn't go there to kick it with nobody, but
Right.
I was just there just doing my own thing. But everybody that I was around, hey, everybody was friendly, and I did, just had a good time. Ate some good food, really took in the sights and everything that I came there to see. So yeah, but that was my
Right.
story about being around them and just being caught off guard. I had never heard of a Pride Week or a Pride Fest, you
Right.
know. Didn't know anything about it until then, when I was in the
Right.
middle of it by accident.
Right. Well, back to that bill, and we're gonna close with this. Back
Yeah,
to that bill, I think, you know what I'm saying, even if you gay, you should fight against that. These are children we dealing with here. And we
yeah,
shouldn't let children have a choice of that because children change their mind. One minute they want an Xbox and another minute they want a PlayStation. They're
hmm,
not old enough and responsible enough to make decisions on their sexuality. And shame on those politicians for wanting to pass a bill like that. And shame on people who agree with that. That's
hmm.
just sad. You shouldn't do that. But
Exactly.
yeah, but that's all that we had today.
Yes,
We want to
sir.
thank you guys for watching. We're gonna do more live streams, and we'll see you guys next time. Remember, we are the guys in the Truckers Lounge. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Thank you for watching.